now talking about a bloodbath for white-collar workers because of AI.
Stop hiring humans.
Headline here is, quote, goodbye $165,000 tech jobs. Student coders seek work at Chipotle.
So I think we all know that this is happening. But if it's true, then why is unemployment rates at historic lows? And at the same time, why does it feel like no one can get a job? Well, it's because AI is quietly reversing trends that's been decades in the making. For years, one gender was dominating education and getting the best jobs, and the other group was falling behind on education and written off as failures. But in a few years, AI is about to flip that. And it's also going to break the promise that America sold everyone. Because all this, you see, is dying. So after hours of research, what I found is that this AI unemployment crisis is really just 10% of the story. Because what these unemployment numbers don't show is the millions of people who've already given up. And that number is only going up. And the more people that start checking out of work,
Oh yeah, so many people are giving up on like a good career because of like AI and all that kind of stuff. That is something that I know is happening.
they don't just lose income. They check out of everything else. And unless something changes, AI isn't just coming for your job. It might be coming for the whole system. So to understand this AI unemployment crisis, we need to start with the first step, education. Because what's happening in schools right now is the start to how AI is breaking this old model and surprisingly reversing trends that's been going on for decades. I don't think people realize how fast this is all happening. Because it took just 2 months after ChatGPT's release for 90% of college students to start using it. 2 months! That's faster adoption than TikTok, Instagram, and any platform ever. And schools who were slow to do anything had to act quickly. Schools in New York City initially banned ChatGPT completely, and so did a lot of schools who panicked because they knew that students were gonna start cheating. And you know what? They weren't wrong. Like this 21-year-old who got his offer from Harvard rescinded, then got into Columbia, then got kicked out again. So after your gap year, you joined a community college.
That's such a terrible idea. Why would you cheat on like going to Harvard and Columbia? That sounds like such a such a step backwards. Like, I think AI can be very useful. I think coders especially are gonna find it useful because they can use AI to like write their codes for them, and then that'll save them like 90% of the time that it would have taken them to write it correctly. And then they can spend that other 10% of the time fixing up the code that ChatGPT messes up. I think that would be really good. Overall, saving them like over 90% of the time that you'd otherwise use coding.
And you were able to eventually transfer into Columbia, but then you got kicked out again after getting caught cheating. Did your Asian parents beat your ass?
Dude, they were like hella concerned for me. Like, I feel like they were just like, dude, this kid is like, he's got to be off the fucking tweaker right now.
So he got caught, but I think you and I both know that he's not the only one. And you want to know how I know? Because I mean, shit, I even cheated my ass off through college, and that was way before AI. Now imagine a Gen Z kid today sitting down on his laptop to write an essay without using AI. Yeah, that's not happening. And with AI, students are always going to be one step ahead. In fact, the perfect example is Roy. Look, getting into an Ivy League already makes him not the average student, but what he did after getting kicked out shows that the way students are approaching education is already being rewritten. You know, you're 21, you probably raised already over around $20 million for your AI company that helps you cheat on everything. What exactly is Cluely?
Cluely is the ultimate desktop assistant, and it essentially lets you use AI on everything. It's ChatGPT, but it sees your screen, it hears your audio, it listens to your meetings, and it can provide you help every single time you need it before you even know that you do need it.
Do you think the education system has become such a debt trap? And with the opportunities that we have today, that getting expelled might actually be better than graduating?
Well, I think for me, I'm pretty uniquely like, I was super hot on Twitter, and I knew I had the intention of like raising around and building a company.
Good lord, we are so fucked. Needing all this AI though to just like simply write like a simple 500-word essay. Oh my god, we are so cooked. But yeah, we're like literally rewriting how the working system is, because I don't think it's gonna be go to college and then get a good job for long, because most degrees aren't gonna be doing anything for anyone soon. Like, I genuinely don't think it's gonna be helpful in the near future.
But generally, like nowadays, you're right, people graduate $30,000 in debt, they have no jobs, and there's like, they don't learn any meaningful skills from college, and all they did was spend like hundreds of thousands of dollars on fucking going for like adult daycare, essentially.
Did you go into like all these Ivy League applications knowing that
I'd say using AI for like essays and papers, using them would only be good if you're like trying to like get an outline idea of what you're actually going to be doing. Like getting like your sections set up, like your intro, and then like your like on an MPA for I think it's called the MPA format. Like getting your conclusion, your body, getting everything set up, all your topics, everything you're gonna talk about in your essay or paper, and then writing that yourself. But I think AI is really good for like organizing. If you're like a really organized individual, I'd say that's really good.
you were gonna drop out?
I knew what the intention was. As soon as I find a co-founder and we land on like a promising business idea, I will drop out.
Look, I'm glad that he said that, because let's be real. Most people who drop out aren't gonna be the next Zuckerberg. But the point is, more and more people are questioning whether a college degree is really worth it. 51% of Gen Z thinks that
That's because most of them view it as a waste of money. Like, most degrees are a waste of money if you think about it. Like, what are you gonna do with like a liberal arts degree? Like, most degrees aren't gonna be very useful. Only like the very specific ones where you need like doctorates are gonna maybe guarantee you like a future. I don't understand how people need AI to write on paper. Since I have the amount of half a paper now on this one assignment, it's a crime case. Yeah, like, I don't know. I guess they just like aren't free thinkers. There are definitely people who like, I know there are people who need AI to like be able to like bake a cake, and they can't do it without AI. Like, they refuse to watch YouTube videos or like actually look at the instructions on the box to cook it, because they're just like so AI driven. So then you have like these dedicated Reddit pages when ChatGPT goes down. On a crime case? That sounds fun. I want to do a paper on a crime case. That sounds really fun, not gonna lie.
their college degree was a waste of money. And especially when it comes to job opportunities, only 1 in 4 Americans now believe that a degree can help you get a good job. But here's the thing, the biggest impact of AI might come from this gender gap in education. In the 1970s, men earned most of the degrees, and today it's the exact opposite. There are 2.4 million more women in college than men. And as the US economy shifted away from industrial jobs,
Yeah, it's not that hard to write down like 5 to 9 sentences with the size of 3. Yeah, it's pretty easy. It's not too hard. You just have to like fact check it a lot.
towards knowledge and service industries, women's edge in higher education gave them way more access to the fastest growing, best paying careers. But now with AI, the very value of a college degree is changing fast. Companies like IBM, Boeing, Google have all dropped degree requirements and focusing more on what you can actually do. And if degrees start becoming even more worthless, this gender advantage in education could vanish or even flip. Because the more I study how money and power works, it just reminds me more of why you need to stay ahead of these shifts before they happen. But even more importantly is distinguishing what is just hype and what is institutional. And that's exactly where my sponsor 21 Shares comes in. 21 Shares is the world's first and one of the largest issuers of digital asset ETPs.
No idea what this is.
Investment opportunity. With their focus on transparency, TN, the rules is for education to help break this down. Crypto content important than investing in crypto and digital. You do your own research. So before you invest anything in trend breakdown,
they're gonna fucking rug pull you.
and this is where things start breaking even more.
Just get a job.
But first, to understand this, if you've been applying recently, this probably won't feel like a surprise.
I know that there are AI tools to like send out mass applications because companies just they also use AI to like do mass trying to find specific employees. So like most of the time a job won't even get back to you. They won't even call you back. I know you have to send like at least like 100 applications in, and maybe like 2 or 3 will call back, and then you'll get maybe 1 job. It's somewhere around that, if I'm not mistaken.
That the jobs that you're applying to are fake and you're wasting your time. In fact, there's even a name for it called ghost jobs, positions companies post with zero intentions of filling. And until recently, it represented 40% of job postings. So what's the point? Why the hell would companies do this? Well, first, to look bigger than they are. The wall of job postings tells investors that the company's growing. Second was for resume farming. And third and most evil one is to pacify their own employees. Post fake jobs, even hold fake interviews, just to trick staff into thinking that more help is coming. Or worse, to remind you that you're replaceable. But here's the irony. Compared to what's happening now with AI, you might actually prefer these ghost jobs. Because at least ghost jobs gave you the illusion of hope, but now it's ripping that illusion away entirely. By spring of 2025, soon-to-be grads on Handshake, a college job site, were submitting 21% more applications per student than last year. But job postings were down 15%. Which means that more people were going after fewer jobs, and AI is taking the work that used to go to entry-level jobs. And I'm not just saying this, employers admit to this. 37% of business leaders today say that they'd rather use AI than hire some inexperienced, broccoli-haired college grad. Here's the twist. It's shifting the advantage to other people. Jobs requiring 6 to 9 years of experience are up 20%, and if you have more than 10% of plus years, up 17%. So right now, AI is actually protecting mid-career and senior workers and even giving them more opportunities, while Gen Z can't even get the experience that they need to move up. And this isn't just one field, it's everywhere. Take tech, for example. Computer science literally used to be like the golden ticket for like a high-paying job right after graduation.
I can guarantee you it isn't anymore. That job market is so saturated. Like, holy shit. You'd be so surprised at how many people have computer science degrees now, and how low the job market has gotten for that. Because there are way too many people with that specific degree now that you can just underpay them pretty easily, and they're desperate enough to go for it. Like, I'm pretty sure the average used to be like maybe 150 grand to 200 grand. But now you can pay them like maybe 70-ish grand and still get the same result. And you can also just pay someone in a foreign country to do it too. Yes, my phone. I know there's a Snapchat notification. I think I wrote maybe two or 3 paragraphs of words in length of 5 sentences. Yeah, it's not that hard. I don't know, AI is screwing over Gen Z, and it's definitely going to screw over Generation Alpha.
But now, 173,000 tech layoffs in 2024 and 2025, and 35% of entry-level postings are gone directly because of AI. But again, like I said, it's...
Yeah, I'm Gen Z. I'm fucked. Yeah, like literally everyone who's like from like I think I'd say maybe 15 to like 25 are pretty fucked right now.
Almost every type of job. There's stories from law firms not replacing first-year paralegals thanks to AI research tools, IBM pausing hiring for 7,800 back office jobs because they're predicting that AI will replace these roles within 5 years. I might get replaced too, with fucking VTubers like this. So when every job's under threat, I wanted to ask Roy, the guy who's
Oh god, the Quibble Cop, the AI VTuber shit. Oh god, that's oh lord. Technically, it's really hard to replace like commentary with an AI because it just sounds AI. No, it's surprisingly hard to get an AI to be entertaining. Like I've seen videos of that. I remember some guy made it like an AI bot and it would specifically let me try to find my words. Like it would take it would take in the chat messages on Twitch, and then generate a response, and then he would use that response and only respond to that. And like everyone was really weirded out by him doing that, but it was more of like a challenge video to see if AI could replace the streamer. And no one really suspected it was AI. They just thought he was like really high.
building the tech to potentially replace your ass, how far he thinks it's gonna go.
Like Cluey is not intended for job interviews only. I think AI has enough intelligence right now to take the context of your screen and your meetings and like provide you information without you ever needing to prompt it. Like the system is rigged against them. Like that's not the actual intention with Cluey, is to like help people who think that the job market is like built against them. Like the intention of Cluey is something much bigger than interviews and job markets.
So you claim that Cluely will kill 9 industries. How would you respond to people who says that what you're doing will eliminate jobs for this generation and beyond?
I'm not really sure how to answer that question. Cluey is giving me an answer.
Like I'm trying to give you a genuine answer here. 400 years in time, like, and ask every blacksmith what they thought about the Industrial Revolution. They'd probably say, you know, like this is cheating. But in the end of the day, like everyone is glad the Industrial Revolution happened, man. Like there's no way you can predict how technology is going to grow.
Yeah, it's literally an industrial revolution all over again. Like we are fucked. Information is becoming outdated because of AI. Like, oh my god, we are so fucked.
And flourish.
And on that point, Roy is right. The blacksmiths didn't survive the Industrial Revolution, but what if I told you that this time, the jobs that you'd expect AI to be killed off are actually the ones that are resisting it? Skilled trades like electricians, plumbers, and construction, these jobs need hands-on presence and problem solving in pretty unpredictable environments, and that's exactly the type of fields that AI is weakest in.
Yeah, they're weakest in like electrician field and like plumber field, mostly because like, oh my god, mostly because AI can't fucking do plumbing and electrical work. You weren't gonna send in a robot to do that, as far as I'm aware. Like those labor jobs, they're gonna become saturated next. They're gonna be the next saturated ones. And then it's just gonna happen all over again. It's gonna be the computer science degree all over.
And in fact, while college grads are flooding the job markets with absolutely no opportunities, trades actually have a severe labor shortage as fewer young people are entering it and older workers are starting to retire. Because as you can probably
I'd say within like the last maybe 5-ish years, trade jobs have been going up way high. Like way high.
guess, these fields are dominated by men who chose trade school or apprenticeship over some 4-year degree. So who would have thought that white-collar workers who traditionally look down on blue-collar jobs are the ones getting automated while trades are staying in demand? But look, here's the bigger issue. It's not just about which jobs survive AI. Because with innovation and revolution, some groups adapt and win and others don't. But in this case, they aren't just losing income, because now people are stopped trying entirely. And that's the true invisible crisis that nobody talks about, the millions, mostly men, who've checked out entirely. And the more that number grows, the closer society gets to collapse. Because this group that's not in education, employment, or training, or NEETs for short, now represents 16% of Americans aged 18 to 24.
Good Lord.
And this is when we really start looking at the unemployment rate and why it looks good, because since these people are not actively looking for work, they're not counted within that statistic. And so as you can imagine, this is where the old model is.
So the unemployment rate could be as high as like 24% right now. Theoretically, it's like 24% because of the 16% plus the like also like I think 5% unemployment rate that we're at. Oh god, that's bad. That's like as bad as it was during the Great Depression, if not slightly worse.
Breaking down. And if something doesn't change, the fallout won't just be an economic one. And so the first step to figuring out why this is happening is understanding why so many NEETs are men. For women, the number one reason is family care. But for men, it's a lot different. It's illness, disability, and even drug abuse. But the bigger factor isn't just these circumstances. It's also how men respond differently to mediocre opportunities. Because to an extent, everyone judges a job that's worth taking or not based on a lot of factors. And the biggest one is their reservation wage. Or put simply, the pay that you might be willing to work for. And for men, that number has gone up. As of 2022, the average reservation wage for men was $86,000. And for women, it was $60,000. So it's a 37% gap. Some might hear that and call it, oh, it's the male ego, but it's not as simple as that. Yes, men still tie their self-worth to being providers, and so does society. But when decent provider jobs are scarce, what we're seeing now is that men who are unable to land better opportunities are choosing to quit.
Yeah, obviously, like AI is going to make like researching and stuff obsolete. Like that's going to become obsolete within the next like 5 or 10 years. Because you can just get an algorithm, like a search engine to do it for you. Like it's pretty fucking easy.
Entirely, then take what they consider a low status job. But for women in the same boat, they stay in the workforce, even if it means taking a part-time or low-paying roles. So of course, this is an oversimplification because there's also a lot of factors like inflation, rising cost of living, and some people might just say that the younger generations are entitled. But it is interesting to note that this difference in response is what keeps more men to choose becoming a NEET rather than go in the workforce. For example, look at the jobs that most women still dominate, like administrative assistants, customer service reps, bank tellers, junior bookkeepers. These are all repetitive tasks that AI chatbots can handle. And again, these are physical, technical, problem-solving fields which AI has a harder time automating. So really why AI might help men isn't because of job categories, but more so adoption.
Rio, the best vibration.
Surveys show that men are actually a lot more likely to use AI tools at work and a lot more optimistic about its impact. And I think that early adoption matters more than anything. The people and like you watching, learning to use AI right now will separate yourselves miles ahead of anyone who's refusing to touch it. And this is regardless of gender. And I think men adopt AI a lot more because I think naturally men tend to be a lot more interested in things. And so when you consider that, what I found is that the UN's International Labor Organization found that 9.6% of female jobs are at high risk from AI compared to just 3.5% of male jobs. And again, this is pure speculation, but this might potentially help this gender gap in NEETs. And the bigger trend being that the men who are falling behind in education and employment may end up in jobs that are harder to.
I think being a welder would be such a cool job, personally. I hate not being able to go into the background mini player. Yeah, I don't know how to do that on Twitch. I would have to look up like the keybinds for that.
Automate, while women who dominated higher education could suddenly find that their degrees were worth far less in the AI economy. So like I said, all this really remains to be seen, but what's clear is that this really isn't about one gender doing better than the other. Because if everything does get automated, entire generations are at risk of checking out of society completely. And the scary part is that we're already starting to see it. We're already experiencing declining marriage and birth rates, but if millions more continue to check out of work, the glue that holds society together is also starting to crack. And if this vicious cycle continues, the question becomes, do we really have a way out, or are we cooked?
We're pretty cooked.
So to find out these solutions, I wanted to ask what ChatGPT thinks. Okay, so ChatGPT, are you about to cook us all? Nah, I'm just playing, but let's start with the solutions that always get brought up and why I don't think it will work. First, a lot of people say education reform, but I don't know about you, but I have absolutely zero faith in our education system. Most of us learned things in school that were outdated even then, and nothing will change until colleges actually feel it in their wallets. And I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon because more people are actually going to grad school hoping an extra degree will save them in this job market. So second is retraining workers. It sounds good, but it's actually a total waste of time. Most displaced workers never end up getting jobs in their retrained field. And one 2017 study found that people who went through retraining programs had lower employment rates and earnings than people who didn't. And I think what you need to realize is that the work.
Yeah, they've already automized. Yeah, they've already automized it. What the fuck am I saying? Automized. Automated welding. That's the word. Why did I say automized?
Workers who do need retraining most, older folks or people who didn't really have strong academic backgrounds, are also the least likely to even finish and end up dropping out. Plus, half the time you're also training for jobs that aren't even being hired locally. You can learn about solar panel installations all day, but if you're in rural West Virginia with no solar companies, it's worthless. And third is universal basic income. Andrew Yang made this mainstream in his presidential run in 2020.
Artificial intelligence is coming. It's actually already eating up the most common jobs in our economy, and it's driving Americans into distress in various ways in the numbers.
And to his credit, he correctly predicted that AI will eliminate jobs, but again, it just sounds good. And even if it passes, it only treats symptom and not the cause. Because one, it doesn't create meaningful work, and two, if it's $12,000 per adult per year, that would cost $3.9 trillion every single year. Look, that's more than the annual federal budget, which if you saw my national debt video, would make that time bomb even worse. What will actually work then? Here's where I think would actually move the needle if we have the guts to do it. First, a targeted job guarantee, not welfare, but guaranteed work, where the government directly hires unemployed people for infrastructure, environmental cleanups, and
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do during a recession. The government is supposed to hire people to get the economy rolling because it gets people's checks, and it gets people spending again. That's literally what you're supposed to do during a recession.
Community services. They actually did this during the Great Depression, and anyone who wanted a job could get one with benefits. But this only works if it's focused where unemployment is highest, which leads me to the second, place-based industrial policy. Because national unemployment stats hide the real problem, regional inequality. And it's also what the national unemployment stats mask. For example, a high opportunity city like New York City is going to have a lot more jobs, but unless you're a Nepo baby, you can't afford not to work. Whereas struggling regions like Appalachia have absolutely no jobs, but people can't afford to move. So by requiring local hiring in these struggling areas for clean energy, plants, and trades, it actually helps the areas where it.
I'm currently in college doing like stuff in college for that kind of stuff. But I'm thinking I'm definitely applying for stuff because this shit doesn't sound desirable as fuck.
Needs it the most. And third is conditional tax incentives. Zero tax breaks with no strings attached, then ship jobs overseas. But what if you make it where if you want to.
Oh yeah, that just ties into the birth rate crisis right now. Because like no one wants kids right now. Because like why would you? Why would you want a kid when they cost so much money? I don't know why you would.
Tax break, prove that you can create real jobs here in the United States and keep those jobs for years. So I think put these together and you get real jobs without the free money trap of UBI. But with all that said,
Unemployed? No, I don't think I know what that means.
here's the brutal reality. These are all ideas that also just sound good. And really, it's just ideas without actually acting on it.
Do you mean like dating someone who's unemployed? Because I'm not dating anyone who's unemployed.
Just like education, the government is slow to make moves. And when there's no perceived immediate threat, you can hide behind the statistic that we're at historic lows. And just like education, I don't have any faith in the government as well. I mean, put it this way. We're
Who does? The government fucking sucks right now.
literally still talking about Senate hearings on social media while AI is literally eliminating jobs. And so hate to break it to you, but nothing is gonna happen until it's too late. And the speed of evolution is literally faster than any technology we've seen before. So with that said, the most important question becomes, what can you do? What do you think that difference in feature is gonna look like if you're not taking advantage of AI right now?
Bro, you are going to get replaced. Like, I cannot think of a single job that AI is not capable of replacing right now. That is not like fucking stand up. Whether it will happen in 2 years from now or 20 years from now, like you have to be prepared for the eventuality. And in the best case, like you just got to make use of like the crazy productivity tools and the unlocks that AI allows right now. I think it is undoubtedly true that we are living in this amazing opportunity. It's never been easier to build a company, and it's never been easier to make generational wealth and like genuinely shake the plates of society. But also like social media propagates like the most controversial opinions and like the most easy to fall under opinions, among which is like, oh yeah, I'm a victim and my life sucks. And I think there's a lot of that in my generation, but there's also a lot of opportunity. And I'm not sure if you're an optimist, as I am, extremely so, then you see the cup is half full, and I see the cup is half full. And I think more people will realize that this is a great time to be alive and a great time to be trying to do interesting things.
So whether you hate AI or ChatGPT is your girlfriend, or whether you're a
Oh yeah, I totally forgot that people date AI. Yeah, I completely forgot that happens.
man or a woman, or whether you disagree with him or myself, automation doesn't discriminate. Knowledge is not power anymore. The internet and now AI has already made it free. But what's actually worth something today is the ability to apply said knowledge with clarity. And those who are going to win are the ones who learn how to learn, adapt, and apply it faster than anyone else, not the ones who have a degree and just know things. And like I always say, you really can't afford to be average anymore. Because in this new world, the only thing more dangerous than being replaced by AI is refusing to adapt at all. So if you want to survive, you need to study how money and power really work. So next week, I'll be going even deeper into America's invisible unemployment crisis on our totally free email newsletter in the video description. But if you're wondering whether your boomer boss isn't just gatekeeping your next
That was an interesting video. That was pretty good. Here, let me send it in chat.